Hola in Granada, and welcome to lesson 14, which is sadly your final lesson of the year for Spanish. So I just want to say well done for your amazing hard work. I'm really going to miss you. Please stay in touch. As you know, I'm not a Spanish GCSE teacher, but yeah, my door's always open anyway. And good luck for those of you doing GCSE, and good luck for the rest of you with all your other GCSEs. Today you're looking at los verbos reflexivos, which is reflexive verbs. Gracias, chicos. So here is the list of the equipment that you will need for today's lesson. You will need the exercise book the school gave you, your knowledge organizer for module 6, and a pen. So pause to get that ready now. Please remember to email me if you've got any questions about the activities in today's lesson, and here's my email address. Please also remember to submit a photo of your work to class charts at the end of the lesson. Gracias, chicos. Copia el título, los verbos reflexivos y la fecha, martes el 14 de julio, and underline those neatly in your book. Then write down the objective, el objetivo, to use all 6 persons of reflexive verbs to describe my routine and the routine of others. So pause to do that now. Press play when you're ready for the do now. Okay, your do now activity is to translate the sequences below. So you should remember these, and they are in the correct order to help you as well. Okay, pause to do that now and press play when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, I said they were in order, so primero, firstly, segundo, secondly, tercero, thirdly, luego is then, después is afterwards, más tarde is later, and por último is finally. So make sure you've got your accents on después, on the E, más tarde on the A, and por último on the U. Fantastic work, Year 9. I'm now going to pass you on to Miss Reardon to teach the rest of the lesson. Gracias, adios.
Okay, chicos, so reflexive verbs are usually verbs which we use to describe our daily routine, or sometimes our opinions, emotions, and relationships. They have me at the beginning in the first person, and this is a reflexive pronoun. So an example of one is me visto, which means I get dressed. The reflexive pronoun changes depending on who is doing the action, just like our verb endings change. So let's look at the table. So to say I get up, because the verb to get up, levantarse, is reflexive, that se on the end tells us it's reflexive in the infinitive. For the first person, that se, we pop it at the beginning and it changes to me. We're talking about ourselves. And then we're just left with levantar, and we conjugate like that, just like a normal AR verb, and it changes to levanto. So I get up altogether is me levanto. For you get up, if we're talking about you, the se again goes right to the beginning but changes to te. And then we change the ending to as because that's what you verbs for AR verbs end in the present tense. So you get up, te levantas. He or she gets up, se levanta. We get up, nos levantamos. You plural get up, os levantáis, and they get up, se levantan. So the only thing extra we have to do with reflexive verbs is we need to add the reflexive pronoun to the beginning, depending on who we're talking about. So just again to recap, if you're talking about yourself, you add me. If you're talking about you, you add te. If you're talking about he or she, you put se. If it's we, it's nos. If it's you plural, it's os. And if it's they, it's also se. He and she and they, it's the same reflexive pronoun. Okay, chicos, please now copy this grammar point into your book. Muy bien. Okay, let's put our work on reflexive verbs into practice. Okay, so now what I'd like you to do is conjugate the 2 reflexive verbs lavarse, which means to wash yourself, and ducharse, which means to have a shower. And I've put there, just like the example, you've got a separate column for your reflexive pronoun to make sure you add that in as well as conjugating the verb. So please pause the video now and conjugate these two verbs. Perfecto, chicos. Let's go over the answers. Okay, so I wash myself is me lavo. You wash yourself is te lavas. He or she washes themselves is se lava. We wash ourselves is nos lavamos. You plural wash yourselves is os laváis. And they wash themselves is se lavan. So you can see the only thing that's different here about the reflexive verb is that we add the reflexive pronoun at the beginning, the me, te, se, nos, os, o se, depending on who we're talking about. Okay, then we have ducharse, to have a shower. Me ducho, I have a shower. Te duchas, you have a shower. Se ducha, he or she has a shower. Nos duchamos, we have a shower. Os duchais, you plural have a shower. And se duchan, they have a shower. Please take a moment now to pause the video and check that you've accurately conjugated both verbs. Perfecto, chicos. Okay, so we're now going to practice these verbs once again in context. So here, chicos, I've got 6 sentences. At the end of each sentence, I've told you which reflexive verb you need to use. So remembering when we're conjugating these verbs that we need to use the correct reflexive pronoun at the beginning. Me, te, se, nos, os, se. So if it's I, the pronoun's yo, we know it's going to be me. If we're talking about, let's look at number 1 together, it says primero mi madre. Okay, it's talking about mi madre. We know that that's she. So the reflexive pronoun for she is se. So we know it's going to be se at the beginning. And then we conjugate our verb despertarse. Se despierta is our answer. You can see that despertarse is also a stem changing verb. Se despierta. Okay, chicos, so please pause the video and copy and complete these sentences using the correct form of the reflexive verb in brackets at the end. Off you go. Excelente, chicos. We're now going to go over the answers. So, número 2, siempre mis amigos y yo, then we have ducharse. And our answer is nos duchamos. So it's mis amigos y yo, so we know that's we, my friends and I. And we have our reflexive pronoun first, nos, and then we just conjugate it as a normal AR verb, duchamos. 3. Tercero yo, so we know we're talking about I, me peino. 4. We're talking about mis padres, my parents, so we know that it's they. So we conjugate our verb in the they form. We put our reflexive pronoun first, which is se for they, and then conjugate it as we normally would, se levantan. Número 5, talking about mi hermana, so we know it's she again, just like mi madre. So our reflexive pronoun is se, and then lava for the third person singular, se lava. And número 6, we're talking about mis tíos, my uncles. So we know that it's going to be se because it's they, and then we conjugate it like a normal AR verb, se afeitan. Perfecto, chicos. Excelente, muy bien. Now what you're going to do is translate these sentences to English. Please pause the video now to do this. Okay, chicos, let's go over the answers. Okay, chicos, so número 1. Firstly, my mum wakes up at 8:15 in the morning. 2. My friends and I always shower at 7 o'clock. 3. Thirdly, I brush my hair because it's important. 4. From time to time, my parents get up late because they are very hard-working. 5. Then my sister brushes her teeth straight away. And 6. Later, my uncle shave at 8:45. Great work on that, chicos. Well done. Okay, chicos, so what I'd like you to do now, please, is read through Gabriel's text, which is all about his daily routine. And then you can see underneath, I've got a series of 10 pictures, all with a letter by them. And these pictures are all different things that Gabriel does as part of his daily routine. What you need to do is put the pictures in the correct order that Gabriel says he does them. So I've told you that number 1 is E. So first of all, he does E, an alarm clock, and you'll see that he starts with me despierto, which we know means I wake up. So we know that that comes first. Then you read along and you find the next letter. Excelente, chicos. So please pause the video now to complete this task. Fenomenal. Let's go over the answers. Okay, so número 2 is J, got his breakfast bowl. Número 3 is B. He says that he showers once his sister finishes. And then we've got 4A, then he brushes his hair. Número 5 is D. He says he only shaves once a week. Then número 6 is G. He then gets dressed in his bedroom. And afterwards, 7 is I. He leaves home to get the school bus. Then we go to his afternoon routine. So he says por la tarde, in the afternoon. He comes back from school, F, returns home. Then we've got H. And then he says me lavo los dientes, which is H, he brushes his teeth. And then finally we have the, which is he goes to bed enseguida. We know that keyword enseguida means straight away. Excellent, chicos. Really great work. So to finish the lesson, what I'd like you to do is write a text about your daily routine. So I'd like you to talk about your daily routine. So just like Gabriel did in his text. Then I'd also like you to tell me what you eat during the day, just like we've been doing in previous lessons. So you can say desayuno, meriendo, almuerzo, use your specific meal times verbs, and tell me at what time you eat, because that really ties into your daily routine. Then I'd like you to tell me about someone else's daily routine using the third person, and also tell me what they eat during the day. So you're more than welcome to use Gabrielle's text as a guide. And also you can use the text that you've already written in your book about what you eat and what others eat. So chicos, excellent work today. I'm really looking forward to reading your texts about your daily routine later on. Lovely, chicos. So remember to upload a picture of your text and of your work today. If you've got any extra time, I would like you to translate Gabrielle's text to English. We've got lots of lovely structures in this text. Enjoy! Adios!